Welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a Victorian corset with a snatched waist of 4 inches. Okay, it's a very simple method I'll be showing us in this video. So I've gone ahead to mark my measurements that have to do with my length and create my armhole. The first line is the chest length, second is the bust, the third is the under bust, the next is the waist, and then I have the full length of the dress. Okay, if you don't know how to get your armhole length, it's your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Okay, and I came down by a shoulder slant of 1 inch. Okay, so what I'm going ahead to do is to mark 1 inch above the chest length. That is where I want my Victorian corset top to start from. Okay, so that is yes, that's where I want it to start from. That's where you can decide to make it more. You can decide to just begin from the chest length or even go above by 1.5 or 2 inches. That's fine. So the next thing I did was to mark 4 inches, which is my nipple to nipple measurement, and draw a line up to down. So that 4 inches is from up to down. Okay, and I'm connecting the lines as so. Now the next thing, at my waist I went in by 1 inch on both sides, but for my under bust, okay, I did not shear it equally. For my under bust by the side, I went in by 1.2 inches, and then for the middle or for the center piece, I went in by 3/4 inch. Okay, so I did it so to enable the under bust tightening, to enable that it tightens better. Okay, so that's why I shared it unevenly at the under bust. Take note, I did that at the under bust and not at the waist. So from the length, I just came up by 1/2 inch just to connect the lines, as you can see me do. And then the next thing would be to connect the lines from the under bust to the bust to create the bust curve. So you're going to use the curve part of your ruler to create or to carve out the bust on both sides. Okay, if you're new to the channel, this is me saying a very big welcome to you. Please kindly subscribe and like the video, share if you find it helpful, which I believe you will. This is MS Collections. Okay, so then at the top of that's the beginning of my blouse, I want to lose 1.5 inch at that top, so I shared the allowance unequally as well. At the center piece I went in by 1/2 inch, and then the side piece I went in by 1.2 inches. Okay, so all these are just should I say tips to enable you get a better fit. Okay, yes, so you losing 1.5 inch at the top is fine. If you want to lose more, maybe 2 inches, that's okay as well, but just ensure that you give the bigger part of the measurement to the side and the smaller part to the center piece, and go ahead and create your bust curve, which I've done, and I have I'm satisfied with what I have. So the next thing I'm going ahead to do is to impute my measurements divided by 4, and I replace the dart allowance. Okay, that's what I did at the top. My measurement divided by 4, and I replace the dart allowance. Now for the hip, I just measured that small space in front, just small dart, and I went ahead to replace it. Okay, and then I connected the lines. Please take note that what I replaced is the dart allowance. I have not added seam allowance. Okay, this is not seam allowance, it's just the dart allowance we are going ahead to replace. Now remember, for the hip, I told you that I just measured that small dart allowance and I added, but I decided to add 1/4 inch. Okay, because from experience that place tends to get shorter, because the dart is coming bigger up and smaller down. So you may just want to add extra 1/2 inch just to be on a safe side, and go ahead and curve out your sides so that you don't have any sharp edges. Okay, this is me marking off the lines I do not need so that we will not get confused. Then the next thing I want to do is to mark my side dart, and I came on my bust, I went down by 1 inch and I went ahead to connect. Now the effect of this is that when you're marking your back is going to be shortened at the waist by 1 inch. I will explain when we are marking the back piece. Okay, now it's time for my waist snatching. Okay, and that's why I just paused at this point to explain that I want to snatch my waist at 2 points, at the center piece and at the side. Okay, and remember I said that I'll be snatching 4 inches from my waist. 4 inches from my waist. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to snatch ½ inch on both sides. Now if I remove ½ inch from the center piece, I've succeeded in taking 2 inches from the whole dress. Then if I remove another ½ inch from the side piece, I've succeeded in taking another 2 inches from the whole dress, which brings it to 4 inches. Okay, so at that center piece at the waist, I came in by ½ inch and I just connected to the top of the dress, as you can see me do. Okay, yes, so I'm taking ½ inch at that center piece, and then that automatically means 1 inch has been lost. Now I hope you know your dress is like divided into 4. Okay, so if you take ½ inch multiply by 4, that is 2 inches lost. Then the next thing I'm going to do is the snatch for the sides. I'm going ahead to divide that at my waist. I'll divide what is remaining into 2, as you can see me do. Just watch closely and you see what I do. Then I'll come in by ½ inch, yes, and then I'm going ahead to connect the lines. Okay, so that's that about that. For the down, I'll also divide it by 2 just to get where I'll connect, and I'll be connecting from the waist up to that hip side, and then I will connect the lines. Now this I'm snatching just at the front piece and at the side piece, because I just want to have like 3 style lines, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. So that means I'm having like 6 style lines at the front. Okay, so if you want to have more style lines, you can go ahead and divide. You have to do more calculations really, so let me spare you the details. So I'm going ahead to connect at the top, and if you watch the video you'd see that at that chest length, what was remaining I divided by 2. I got a point and I went ahead to connect from the waist to that top. Okay, now the next thing is to go up at the base of the blouse. I went up by 1½ inch, and then I'm just connecting to the last that I have. Okay, so it's a corset blouse. You don't want it pointy at that edge, so that helps you to give it a nice curve. Now I want to close up my side darts so that I would finish up my blouse. Okay, so that's when I just splitted the allowance. I just splitted that place because we really don't need it. We are going to be cutting it out, so that's why I just splitted it, and I'll use a seal tape to close up the side dart. Okay, so it's important you close up the side dart before you begin adding your seam allowance by the side, so that you don't have unequal markings after you have cut. Okay, so the next thing to do is to add my seam allowances by the side. And if you take note, I kind of skipped out the under bust when I was marking, because it's a snatched corset, so we want a definite shape. We want it to come up, down, and then begin the curve from the waist. So even if you mark your under bust, you're going to discover that if you're marking, you have to skip out the line. Okay, so that's why I kind of left that out. Okay, so and besides, we want the waist quite small. Okay, so that's why I left out the under bust. The next thing I'm doing over here is to create a sweetheart neckline, which is as desired. I came down my chest length by 1 inch. You can decide to come down more depending on how much depth you want. Okay, and then by the side, I'm just going to use my curve ruler. I want to create a curve at that point to connect to my armhole. I did the first curve, and I just felt it was a little curvy, so I just did another curve that's okay for me. So go ahead, it's what you want, it's as desired for the kind of shape of blouse you want. So this second curve I did, I was okay with it, and that's what I stick to it. Okay, so I'm going ahead to mark off the first curve because I do not need it. Basically, we are done with our pattern drafting. What is left is to cut out all the pieces, and then we are good to go. This pattern, should I say, is a simplified pattern, and that is why I try to make it look as simple as possible. There are different styles of Victorian corsets with different types of style lines. Okay, so probably I'll be doing more videos as time goes by to tell us, to expose us to different types. Okay, so what I'm going ahead to do is to mark off, to label the patterns. Very, very important. Okay, and the labeling is just what you understand. Like, as you can see, the first one I labeled number 1, then I marked the size A and B, but I wanted to mark this for the second, number 2, I wanted to mark A and B as well, but I just said, okay, let me mark B and B, so I'll just know that B connects to this B. So it's basically what you would understand. Okay, it's not like this is how you label. The most important thing is that when you pick the patterns together, the pieces of the pattern, you know that this is this. All right, so if you've not turned on your notification bell, please do. Like I said, I'll be dropping more videos, more amazing content, so you wouldn't want to miss out. So please kindly turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. And just in case you are watching and you have not subscribed, I want to beg you to pause on this video, go and subscribe before you come back. Okay, so pay attention to how I'm cutting off the blouse. It's the more you see, the more you understand. Okay, so you know where to cut out and you won't have any issues with the cutting. So far so good. Front pattern is ready, as you can see. So I'm just going ahead to arrange it to see this is what it looks like, and then the next thing we'll be drafting will be the back pattern. Okay, but this is it. We are good to go. And we will not be using a yoke for this corset, so that's why I discarded the yoke part. Now we are on to the back piece, and remember I told us while drafting the front piece I was going to explain something to us at the back. Now when you are taking your measurement for a corset, if you take from your shoulder, your shoulder to your bust, to your half cut, or to your under bust, and then to your waist, and then you turn your back and you take the same measurement down to your waist, you are going to discover a shortage. Now that is because your front has a bust and your back does not have the bust, so automatically the back waist is shorter than the front waist. Okay, so I took 1 inch down at the front to make my blouse shorter. So when you are taking your measurement for the back, ensure that your waist is shorter by 1 inch, and then from that point take your blouse length. I hope I'm understood. Okay, there's another method where you work with exactly the shortage you have at the back, but I did not implement that for this tutorial. So for this back piece, I went ahead to take up, just basically what I did in the front. Go up your chest length by 1 inch, come your nipple to nipple, connect all the way down. We did that in the front, and I believe it's something we can follow easily, so that's what I'm going ahead to do. Take note, I'm using corset loops at the back, so there is no zipper allowance. Now for the waist at the back, I'm going ahead to waist snatch. I also need to pause at this point to explain that when we come to the back, we are going directly to waist snatching. Now do not be surprised, because in the front we did the bust creation and all. Obviously the front has the bust, so that big that we did in the front was to enable us create the bust, and then after creating the bust, as we saw earlier, we went ahead to snatch the center piece and the side piece. But for the back there is no bust, so go straight to your waist snatching. And the thing with waist snatching, don't be confused. I know you may say, I have my normal dart. The the secret here is that when you are doing your dart, you are not replacing your dart allowance by the side. You are just going to be replacing seam allowance. I hope you understand. So come in 1/2 inch on both sides at the waist, please, not the underbust. Do not be confused. At the waist, come in 1/2 inch and then connect the lines as you see in the video. Now I also need to point out that, like I said earlier, we are taking half inch. When you times that by 4, it's like you're taking 2 inches, and that is 4 inches. Okay, so that's what I did here. Before I take the next dart for the waist snatch, I went ahead to mark off my measurements. I hope you understand. So do not just begin to take your snatching just like that. Do not just begin to snatch, rather. Do not just begin to snatch. After you snatch at the nipple to nipple line, please impute your measurement before you now get the middle point and take off the next dart line for the snatching. If you do not do that, you're going to find out that your lines are kind of not equal, or they are just unaligned, or except that's how you want it to be. But if you want them to be aligned, please ensure that they are equally divided. Okay, so this is it for the back. The dart lines, we've drawn them in the front, so it's something that we should be able to follow easily. Just divide the points by 2 and connect. For the back, I just connected from the waist to the bust, and then just a straight line to the chest line, because I do not want the dart intake to reach the chest line. Go ahead and mark off the parts you do not need. The next thing is to create the allowance for the corset loops. Before that, I just went ahead to mark off the neck depth, which is totally optional. I decided to come down by 1 inch, just a little above 1 inch. So it's kind of optional. Whatever depth you want, it's fine. Go ahead and mark that, and then connect that point to the armhole. Okay, so after you're done with that, you can go ahead and add your seam allowance for the dress. I used 1.5 inch for my seam allowance, both for the front and the back. So go ahead and put your seam allowance all through the dress. Okay, connect your line, and ensure after connecting that you do not have any pointed edges. If you have any pointed edges, you can use your marker to even out the edges, as I did in the video. Okay, so after that, I went ahead to create the allowance for my corset loops, and like I stated, it's clearly optional. I wanted it to be 2 inches up to down, but I decided that I wanted a little bit of V shape. So at the down, I went in by 1.5 inch instead of 2 inch. I later made it 1.5 inch, and up I went it by 2 inches. So it's basically subtracting 1/2 inch from what I had at the top, so that I can just have a little bit of slant at that area. Okay, so if you don't want yours to be obvious, you can go ahead and use whatever measurement you deem fit. Okay, so I'm just marking off that area to show you that that's where the corset loops will be, and basically we are done with drafting for the back. Just go ahead and create that curve at the base of your top, going up by 1.5 inches, and then just connecting to the last dart. I must also mention that it's dependent on how curvy you want to be. If you want it more, you can go up higher. So we are done with the back, and what is left is to cut out our pattern. And your pattern drafting for your Victorian corset with a snatch weight of 4 inches is ready. If you have any questions, kindly drop them in the comment section, and I'll be glad to attend to them. If you've not subscribed, please do. If you learned from the video, please like the video and share, okay, to support the channel. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. Okay, so we are done cutting our pattern. Do not forget to label as much as you want. So far it's what you understand, and basically that will be all for today's tutorial. This is MS Collections, and I'm always glad to have you stop by. It's encouraging, and I would really love to hear from you. If you want any other thing you want me to drop tutorials on, you can always hit me up in the comment section and I'll attend to them. Okay, so thank you for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the part 2 of this tutorial where I'll be making the full dress. I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe. Bye.